Malachi chapter 1 and verse 11. You have it, say glory to God. Glory to God. This is the word of the Lord. For from the rising of the sun, even unto the going down of the same, my name shall be great among the Gentiles, and in every place incense shall be offered unto my name, and a pure offering, for my name shall be great among the heathen, saith the Lord of hosts. Amen. Amen. You may be seated. For today's subject that we're going to present unto you as the Lord has given unto us. Amen. Simply says this: from sunrise to sunset. From sunrise to sunset. Now, what constitutes a sunrise and what constitutes a sunset? Well, let us examine both today. When we do an examination of sunrise, we discover that a sunrise is categorized as the rising of the sun above the eastern horizon each morning. It is depicted as an atmospheric glow and coloring near the horizon as the sun rises. And it is defined as the time at which the sun rises above the horizon in the morning. As long as we live, until we leave this place, as sure as we live, there is a sunrise. It's been rising since God said, let there be light. And it will be rising until the time that He says time is no more. We personally associate and refer to sunrise by these terms. We call it the break of day. We call it the crack of dawn. We call it first light. But we always refer to it as the morning. Now, sunrise is a term that points to renewed functionality. That means sunrise is indicative of us being granted another beginning. It means we are given another chance. It means we are given another opportunity. And it means we have another start. To put it in the words of our heaven-based matriarchs and patriarchs, they said it this way: He gave us another chance. He let me live to see another day. He bid our golden moments to roll on just a little while longer. And some would say it this way: He didn't have to wake me soon this morning, but He did. And so when we talk about the sunrise, that is something that God has always put in place, and He has placed it there for a reason. He placed it to let us know that in the midst of everything in our lives, there's always going to be a new day. Whatever happens in the past is the past. Whatever happens in the present is the present. But God has already told us there's a future that waits for us. And in that future, there's going to be a new situation and circumstance where He's always going to allow us to be able to look to Him, knowing He has a blessing waiting for us. Now, when we proceed to evaluate a sunset, this is what we find. It's the setting of the sun below the western horizon in the evening. There's an atmospheric glow and coloring near the horizon as the sun sets. It's the time at which the sun sets below the horizon in the evening, and the period during which somebody or something is declining, coming to an end, or approaching death. Now notice that? They never say the situation when we're coming to this life. They say the sunrise of our lives. When we are born, that's the sunrise. But as we get ready to approach the time, we get ready to leave this place, we're going into a sunset. Don't folk used to say that a lot of times. I'm past the sunrise of my days, and I'm headed for my sunset. And in that sunset, I'm making sure I'm getting closer and closer to the Lord, because I need Him more every day. Now, we personally link sunset with what we want to call the day's end. We call it the dusk. We call it the evening. We call it the nightfall. Some call it the twilight. And others call it sundown. Now, sunset pertains to what we call resolute finality. In other words, sunset implies a closing. It implies a departing. It implies a finishing. It implies a shutting down. And it implies a winding up. Remember old Saint used to come here all the time. He always say, children, this time is winding up. And he used to use this phrase, because it's bad out there. It's bad out there. It's real bad out there. Matter of fact, it's bad out there. And he would say, time is winding up. He said, if you ain't got your business fixed, you better get your business fixed. Because time is winding up. And so, when we refer back to our text, we find that the Lord makes specific reference to the sunrise and sunset. Notice how he puts it. He says, from the rising of the sun, even to the going down of the same. He says this for one reason. This is why he says it. He wants to do this for the purposes of letting us know that he's announcing and authenticating the range and perpetuity of the presence of his name, the praise of his name, and the person of his name. Say, hold on, Pastor. Go back over that again. He utilizes this statement as an opening statement in order to announce and to authenticate the range and perpetuity of the presence of his name, the praise of his name, and the person of his name. Well, somebody still might be saying, well, wait a minute. Like we say, just hold on. Wait a minute. Pause, put a pin in it. Explain this thing a little bit further. Well, here we go. We're going to let you know exactly what the Lord is talking about. When he talks about announcing, authenticating, range and perpetuity, and we talk about praise and person and presence of his name, this is what it means. To announce and authenticate means this. It means to broadcast and confirm. It means to herald and endorse. It means to reveal and substantiate. And it means to post and validate. Now I know most of us in here today are familiar with that term, post. And because that's what this generation does nowadays. We post to Facebook, we post on Twitter, we post to Instagram, we post on YouTube, we post on all these things. We posting something. And we're posting it for the purposes of doing this. To announce something and to authenticate something. And what do we normally post? We post information about ourselves. We post our interests. We post where we're going. We post what we're doing. We post what we think about people. We post what people think about us. Matter of fact, we post if somebody like us, if somebody dislike us, if somebody friend us, if somebody defriend us, if somebody cut us off, if somebody cut us on. All this is done to announce who we are, what we're doing, and let the world know we're here. And you notice how people look at social media and they clamp to social media, and it's all done for the purpose just so somebody can say, I'm here. Think about it. They post on Facebook, they put their name. Post on Facebook and Twitter, Instagram, you're taking pictures of yourself. And then what you do, you post it for the world to see. But the only problem is that with that situation, when you post it for the world to give you praise, to give you glory, they do just the opposite. One moment they might say, yeah, you look good. And you think you put the best picture that you had on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. And somebody go right in the comment, they show he is messed up. And all it takes is one person to put, they show he is messed up on a comment, and then what that person start doing, they try to take a different picture, they try to dress a different way, they try to look more sexual and alluring. And this for my girl. Don't be posting things on Facebook to try to announce and authenticate who you are. Because somebody's always going to have something to say. You know you're pretty. You know God made you good. You know God made you beautiful. You don't need anybody else on Facebook or Twitter to tell you that you look good. Because the only thing they're going to do, they're going to be jealous of how you look anyway. And regardless of how good you look, there's always going to be somebody out there that's going to say something negative. And it's all designed to bring you down. The other thing we deal when we talk about range and perpetuity, that means the extent and endlessness. It means the radius and the imperishability. It means the reach and the permanence. It means the scope and the timelessness. What are we talking about? Something being infinite in time. It means there's no beginning, there's no end. It just always exists. When you talk about God, they always get into this situation. Where did God come from? He came from where he came from. Where does God exist? He exists where he exists. Where's God going? He's going where he's going. What does God do? He does what he does. That's when you're dealing with God. That's a simple fact. And man can't put his hands around it because it's too big for him to hold in his hand. The range and time of God, forget about trying to figure it out. The Lord simply said this. this. I'm the first, I'm the last, I'm the beginning, I'm the end. I'm Alpha and Omega. David's declaration of this scripture: goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. That's an example of range and perpetuity. When Jesus pronounced this, when he said, lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world, amen. That's the example of range and perpetuity. In other words, wherever you go, wherever you are, whatever situation you're in, whatever you're doing, Jesus said, I'm right there. When you need me, I'm right there. If you call me, I'm right there. If you look for me, I'm right there. You ain't got to go all over the place to find me. I'm right there. The presence, the praise, and the person of his name means this. It means the aura, the adoration, and appearance of his authority. It means the company, the celebration, and the distinctiveness of his character. It means the manifestation, the worship, and being of his appellation. In other words, God is. Simply said that when Moses said, what do I call you? When they ask me what your name is, what do I tell them? Who do I tell them sent me? Tell them I am that I am sent you. There's so many things that God does. There's so many things that God is to all of us. There are so many things that God accomplishes. The simplest way to say who he is to say I am that I am. I'm your help. I'm your friend. I'm your strength. I'm your light. I'm your hope. I'm the one that holds you up. I'm the one that leads you. I'm the one that guides you. I'm the one that talks to you. I am everything. That's my name. Whatever's in my name always covers who I am. Notice this. The presence and praise and person of his name is significant to us because his name is the divine signatory. It's the seal. It's the surety for those of us who acknowledge God as our Father, who accept Jesus Christ as our Savior, and who are certain that the Holy Spirit is our instructor. In other words, when we talk about God, we call him by his name. When we seek God, we seek his name. When we believe in God, we believe in his name. What did the scripture say? His name has all power. In his name, all things shall be done. Jesus even told us when we pray to the Father, he said, ask in my name. And so we're not going to keep you long today as we prepare to go to our seat. As we approach the close of the year of 2015. And as we perform a sunrise and sunset review, it reveals that the Lord has been with us, that he has brought us through a multitude of sunrises and a multitude of sunsets. And beginning with the first moment of the first day of January 2015 to this moment on the 27th day of December 2015, right here at St. Paul, and on through the final moment on December the 31st of 2015. We have a sunrise and sunset surety that our Lord has kept us, is keeping us, and shall keep us. In the midst of every situation, no matter what the sunrise, no matter what the sunset, we know he has kept us, he's keeping us, and he will keep us. Because of the sunrise and sunset presence, praise, and person of his name, we have been able to experience January's joys and February's fruitfulness and March's miracles and April's anointings and May's manifestation and June's justifications and July's jubilations and August's abidings and September's satisfactions and October's opportunities and November's nourishments and December's delights. Because of the sunrise and sunset presence, praise, and person of his name, we can look on the horizon and see an atmospheric glow and coloring of what the Lord has prepared to rise up and set up in our lives. Notice, sunrise, he rises in our lives. Sunset, he sets up things in our lives. When we can look out over the horizon and see anointing and blessing and consolation, we can look out and see deliverance and expectation and fulfillment. We can look out and see goodness and hope and inspiration. We can look out and see love and mercy and peace. We can look out and see provision and rejoicing and salvation and we can look out and see treasures, victories, and wonders. The Lord takes me back to a time when I don't do this anymore. And I told Sister Young, we're not going to do this anymore. There was a time we drove from here to New York. And as guys always used to talk, we talk about we're going to drive straight way with no stopping. And for some reason, we decided we were going to go from here to New York, and we weren't going to go stop. We were going to drive straight in 23 hours, we were going to get there. And so we took off from Baton Rouge. And we drove all the way on the interstate, went to New Orleans and all the states in Mississippi, and crossed over through Tennessee and all those other places, went through West Virginia and all of those places and said, oh, look how beautiful, how wonderful. But the problem was, only a few of us was driving. Some of us were sightseeing. But I thank the Lord for my brother-in-law who was with me that day. But the thing was, I said, well, we're going to take off 9. I always remember as we drove on the interstate, I'd always heard people talking about seeing the sunrise and seeing the sunset. And so as we drove on our way going to New York City, I looked and saw the sun setting as we crossed over through Tennessee and looked at the sun going down over the Smoky Mountains and thought about how beautiful it was. And drove all that time and it got dark and darkness came and drove through the darkness and the family was sitting on the side sleeping. I'm saying, I'm getting to drive to see the sunrise and the sunset. Started driving and got to West Virginia and looked at it. Everybody else was sleeping and I looked up and as I drove, the darkness started to disappear and the sun started to rise up in the West Virginia hills. Drove through the West Virginia hills, started getting to the point where I saw the sun rise again, and as the sun rose to its highest point at noon, driving all the way through, making my way through Philadelphia. All of a sudden, all the beauty of that sunrise started to look like scraggly twinkles on the television screen. I looked over at the rest of the family, they were resting and sleeping. I covered myself trying to shake it off and said, well, just shake it off. I rolled the window down, stuck my head out the window, just tried to get some air like a dog does, and put my head back in and shook my head again, and I could see the sunrise sitting there, and then all of a sudden those lines came across my eyes again. And you know how it is in the film when they say the screen is about to go out and you hear the crackly sounds on the television screen. I'm telling you right now, I heard those crackly sounds as my eyes started to see the crackly sounds going across my sight. And so I pulled over to the side and I looked over at the family. They woke up. They said, what's wrong? I said, I got to pull over. I said, I saw the sunrise. I saw the sunset. I saw the sunrise as we drove to the eastern coast. But now it's time for me to take my sunset and get me some rest because my body's about to shut down. But the wonderful thing about God, in the midst of the sunrises, in the midst of the sunsets, God never sleeps. In the midst of the sunrises, He is always there walking with us and keeping us. And in the midst of those sunsets, He's right there watching over us and standing there. But no matter what the sunset or sunrise is, God has always been there. From the time it came in January to the time it gets ready to set on the 31st of this month, when that sunset comes. But guess what? As sure as the sun's going to set, sun's going to rise again. And so the Lord wants us to know this. From sunrise to sunset, and from sunset to sunrise, the Lord's name is great among the nations. From sunrise to sunset, and from sunset to sunrise, praise is given to the Lord's name everywhere. From sunrise to sunset, and from sunset to sunrise, the Lord's name is great among the nations. But there's something else He needs us to know. There was another sunrise and another sunset that took place that's more important in our lives than any sunrise or sunset we experienced this year. Because there was one day when there was one that was called the Son. He was lifted up above all men. He was hung on the cross. That Son was raised up so all could see. The darkness came over the land, and the darkness came because on that day, because that Son had risen, the Son decided to to him. And that same son died, and they took him off the cross, and then they laid him down at sunset. And that son was set down in the grave, and they thought that the son had been wiped out forever. But one day, early one Sunday morning, there was another sunrise. God told his son it's time to get up. And so the sun in the east didn't come up in the east and go nowhere, but God's son got up from the sunset he was in the grave, and the light rose, and when he stood up, that son stood out of the grave and put one foot on the grave and looked up to the Lord and said, I have all power in my hand. And because that sun rose on that day, we have the opportunity to see all of God's sunrises as we live this life. But God has done something else. There's another situation. That same son decided to take a cloud back to glory. And now that son sits by the Father, and his son is sitting right now on this throne interceding for each and every one of us. And so now we have a sunrise and we have a sunset that's divine, that's glorious, that is eternal in the heavens. And one day when this sunrise is over and the last sunset is over, all of us are going to have the opportunity to rise and see the real sun and sit with the true sun. And in that day, there will be no more sunsets, because all there will be is the light of the glory of God. And he said the light will shine in the city. There will be no more darkness. There will be no more night. But all there will be is sunrise. Because every child of God will stand in the midst of the Father and say, holy, 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 to the Son of God. We're going to stand and bask in his glory. Because the sun rises and the sun sets. And in the midst of all of it, you notice there's an in-between. But in between those sunrises and sunsets, God is always there. God is always there. And in the midst of those situations, God sent his son. His son rose. His son sets. And because he rose and because he sets, we too have sunrises and sunsets. He rose up in our heart. He set his spirit and his joy in our soul. And so that's why the folk would always say in these situations, I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on Jesus. I'm singing and shouting with my mind stayed on Jesus. I'm walking and talking with my mind stayed on Jesus. And surely as he rose, the Bible lets us know something else. One of these old days, the sunset's going to come on our life. And we got to lay our old bodies down. But the wonderful thing about that is when that body goes into sunset, that soul goes to sunrise. You know, when that body goes to sunset, that soul goes to sunrise. But the glorious thing about it, one day, when it's all over, God's going to allow the divine, eternal sunset to set forth. All of those who have been set in the grave and have been sleeping and their bodies have been resting in the grave, every spirit is going to be lifted up. And that body that you have right now, the one that may have some pains and some suffering, guess what? God's going to give you a glorified body. And that body is going to have a sunrise. And when it gets up, there's going to be no pain, no sorrow. But the wonderful thing about it, all these things that we see right now, people trying to get rid of wrinkles, and tighten up this and tuck up that, all those things will be gone. Because in that glorified body, won't be no need for wrinkle creams, won't be no need for tucking, won't be no need for anything else. Because God has placed it in his perfection. And everything in God's perfection is good. Not only is it good, it's glorious. So from sunrise to sunset, God is here for us. He's cared for us. And you always will be here for us. Sunrise, sunset. I'll never leave you. I'll never forsake you. I'll be with you even until the end of the world. And that's the glorious thing to remember. From sunrise to sunset, he's been with us. And so we ask him, by the grace and mercy of God, that when the other sunset comes on the 31st of this month, that he blesses us to see a sunrise in 2016. And we're going to start it all